Good morning, traders and investors around the world, and welcome to Tuesday's edition of premarketinfo.com, where we do our best to prepare you for the first and most important hour of the day. Dennis, getting some pretty good movement in the S&Ps overnight. Looks like we had a nice rally going until that 3M news came out.
Yeah, 3M definitely hitting the Dow here, down $5 on their earnings. So I think that's what's probably caused the S&P to give back a little bit of its small gains.
Okay, quick recap, folks. Globex low stands exactly on the daily pivot at 1242. Globex high, 1254.50, exceeded yesterday's high by a couple points. If that holds as the high of the day, we have a downside target of 1225.5, which is a point and a quarter below Monday's Globex low. Moving on to the Big Ten. Apple Computer mounted a nice rally yesterday. Dennis, it looks like they're trying to fill the gap. We had a low on the day that earnings were released at $415.99, broke down to $390.75, and it looks like it's trying to creep back up and fill that gap.
Yeah, there is a gap in there, Joel, from the 420 down or 418 down to the 410 area. That's where we're heading towards. We started to get up there. This stock, it's just so strong, Joel. Every time it gets a pullback, no matter what the news, it seems to hang out for a couple of days and then just starts to rally again. Everybody looks, as this stock as, the staple that they want in their portfolio. So if it's not in the portfolio, people come in and buy it on the pullbacks. And that's exactly what we're seeing again. Wouldn't be surprised if the momentum continued over the next couple of days and we actually did fill that gap, Joel.
Yeah, I guess the only other thing that we could look at to, get an idea where the stock is going is, where's the volume been more, Dennis, on the down days or the up days?
Well, that's just it. On the down days, it kind of, there isn't that much. In the up days, it rips. So.
Okay, well, we'll have to see. ExxonMobil was lagging a lot of the day yesterday, but was able to punch through Friday's high, got up to 80.50. Pulled back, closed at 80.17. I see we're bumping up right against that high this morning, that 80.50 high. So you might have a low risk short off ExxonMobil this morning. Above that, probably 80.88, a high back in July, but I'd call the more major resistance at 81.18. Coming back on the downside, really need to hold Monday's low at 79.55. If that, you do have Friday's low just below that, but I think below 79.55 we might start to break down a little bit.
The slow climb here just continues. Draw a trend line on your chart there from that 75 up to the 80 here. Follow that trend line. It continues just to crawl up until that trend line's broken. The trade is still on the upside.
Okay, IBM, just like Apple, took the hit after earnings. It's just been, clawing its way back up, trying to fill the gap in the market. Closed at 183.89. That should be good resistance this morning. Mild support at the close, 182.25. I see we're trading below that. I think below that, you really got to look for Monday's low at 180.62. And the major resistance stands at the close the day that earnings are released at 186.59.
Yeah, same story as Apple, trying to fill a gap there from an earnings. I would say, if we can start to rally up here, there ain't much in between 183 to 185, so it opens up if it starts getting above the 180, even the high from yesterday, 183.39 probably opens right up, but pullback's probably still to be bought on this as well.
Okay. We'll just play our tape from yesterday in Microsoft. 5 to 7 highs between 27.40 and 27.50. Bill Gates is not out of his position yet at that level, so we haven't broken out. That's all we could say. I mean, the close 27.19, trading a couple pennies above that. Monday's low held just above the 27 level, 27.04. I think, you stay out between 27 and 27.5, and eventually the stock's going to have to make a move one way or another.
Man, but how many times could you have played that from the short side at 27.40? Yesterday again gets to 27.40. We talked about it, we joked, I was like, I don't even need to talk about that because they know what I think of that 27.40 level, and it tops out there again yesterday. So you're right, it's like Bill Gates up in stock with an algo there, 27.40, 27.50. Until we can get above that 27.50, you still got to play from the short side.
Chevron Corporation was able to punch through Monday's high by quite a bit. Got up to 106.87. We also had a spotty high up there at 107. So I'm sure things are starting to thicken up in the book there. Coming back on the downside, trading quite a bit above this 105.27 level. But I think when we take that out, be ready to start shorting that stock.
You're right, it is thickening up at 107, just 20,000 shares up there, but that is somewhat significant for a stock of Chevron Texaco. Don't know what to say. We started taking up above that. I still love that 110. I still wish it would get that extra 3 points so I didn't have to risk $3 here, Joel, but on the short side, if you're shorting up to that 110, obviously you're shorting 107, you're a swing trader, you almost got to give it to 110, and I don't like taking that much risk, so I'd like to get a little bit higher.
Dennis, when you have a number like that up top, I mean, aren't you just tempted to play it to the long side up to that area? I mean, if you're looking at that as major resistance and nothing there, aren't you tempted just, to play it from the long side?
You mean buying it here in the 107 area and thinking that it's going to just go up to that 110? Yeah, maybe, but it's had such a run, I'm scared to go long this thing. I look at this thing, it's had a 25-point run here in 3 weeks. A lot of air it could fill, so I'm just way too scared when I'm going for $3 there, risking 10, I don't like that risk return.
Okay. J&J approaching that 65 area. Boy, you got one patient seller there at 65. If he's still there, Dennis, is this the day we take it out?
Possibly. I'll limit my comments because I do have a position on in J&J. You can probably guess which way I'm positioned just because I've talked about this 65 area so many times here. Obviously, it gets above 65 and then all bets are off.
Okay, I'm just giving you some support on that stock. 63.60 was Monday's low, so you can't really think about hitting that stock until it gets through there. Procter Gamble kind of moved down in sympathy yesterday with those Kimberly-Clark earnings. It opened that stock lower, never sniffed the close, and made a low at 65.01. Really, that'll be our support this morning. Below that, got Wednesdays and Thursdays lows there at the 64.28 to 47 area. This thing's just really had some tight ranges here, kind of like the Microsoft and the J&J. I mean, these things are, they had their move up early, in the rally, but now it seems like they're just stalling.
Crazy day for that yesterday, though, too. Joel Procter Gamble opened up way below fair value, obviously. Caught a lot of probably your OPG traders long. Sometimes, that trade gets really crowded. That OPG strategy can get really crowded. When it opens up down 50 or 60 cents and the market opens up, you've got a lot of short-term traders that are long, not just on the fair value play. And I think that's why you've seen it continue to get weak because the trade was a little bit crowded at the open. So then it shakes those people out and then it finds, a base throughout the day. But definitely if it gets back up to that 66 area, I see size up there. I think that's, going to be resistance for a number of reasons.
Okay. AT&T, we have that wall from 29.35 to 43, 5 to 7 highs, and now you got a little double top here, or not, Friday's closed, Monday high, not exactly a double top. It just seems like the sellers are starting to come down a little bit in this stock, Dennis. They're not being as patient and probably bringing their offers down. We do have the weekly low that may come into play here at 26.63. So, yeah, maybe AT&T is a little precursor of the market breaking down here.
Yeah, 28.63 I think you meant there, Joel. But, I agree that 28.60 area, that's where we bottomed out there last week. So, look for some buyers possibly in that area. This range is still that 28.60 area up to the 29.30 area. We didn't quite get that high yesterday, but it was an inside day there yesterday. So, if you were a little aggressive, you might have been able to play that inside of that range. This stock, just keep in mind, did get a small downgrade from Bernstein there today.
Okay, Generous Electric still trading below the weekly high and Tuesdays and Wednesdays highs, just below that from last week at 16.80 and 87. Every rally here seems to be stopping a little bit lower than it was before. 16.45 was the close. I'd use that as a swing number. Monday's low and Friday's close real close to each other, 16.32 to 33. Just like Microsoft and a couple of these other stocks we're talking about, these stocks are just starting to have smaller ranges and just winding themselves into a little tizzy here, getting away, ready to break out one way or another.
Yeah, the volatility is coming down on a lot of these issues. It's a good point, Joel. On this stock, I'm still sitting on my hands right in this area because we're kind of in the middle of this range. We've been talking about this range 16 to 17. Before it was 15 to 16. The last, 3 weeks it's been 16 to 17. It gets up in the high 6. I would be a seller. If it gets in the low 16s, I'm probably a buyer. So that's kind of the range that I'm looking at. So if it was to drift down 40 cents from here, I'd get interested.
Okay, is there any big bids or offers in the New York book yet you can see, or is it too far away?
Well, actually, it gets too thick. It's such a thick stock even already that's already positioned. So it's you can't see those levels. But I'd imagine you've got some buyers. And whether they're visible or not, I'd be shocked if there wasn't some buyers in that 16 area.
Okay, and a new member of the Big Ten yesterday, Coca-Cola, had a nice range, took out Friday's high by 30 cents, getting up to 68.65. Pulled back. We had a 67.87 close. We're trading just a few pennies above that. Keep a real close eye on this 67.46 to 67.71. That's Fridays and Monday lows. That's a double bottom. We get a break below this 67.5 level, and I got some air down to the weekly low at 66.40.
Yeah, I think for this thing to go into rally mode, it needs to start getting above that $68 level here again. We're at 67.90. You see a little bit of size of 68, so maybe that gives you a little bit of initial resistance. Really, to really go into rally mode, we'd like to see it get above that high of 68.65 yesterday, and then it opens up a bit. But right now, it's just kind of hanging out, and I'm sitting on my hands on this one too, Joel.
Okay, well, our show is sounding very similar to a few weeks ago when all these stocks were having similar, matching lows or similar lows in the same area, or taking out that low and then rebounding above when the market made its lows back in October. Now we're rallying up. We did break out of that top of the range, but who knows? One day we could be right back in that same range we were trading at. Well, the SPUs are trading unch, folks, and it's also right around the mid-range of the day. Use that 12.52.50 up to the Globex size 54.50 if you want to lay some shorts out early in the morning. And below the pivot, 12.42, we got some room on the downside. That's our S&P and Big Ten show for this morning. We'll be back with our market movers.